Same.
Well, since we already started talking about that before we got into this, welcome to Crazy Pinfall Podcast. We've got two of your normal regulars on the show, Mr. Ray Callahan and Mr. Mason. Or he ain't SpongeBob, but that is PatrIck. That's for damn sure.
Not the Krusty Krab.
Well, I mean, everybody has to go find SpongeBob somehow. Anyways, hope everybody's having a good day. Going to type up live. People are now watching Impact. I'm going to do it all in caps, yeah. I already got yelled at for that. I guess I asked Ron Patel this. I guess he's having a hard time getting certain notifications.
From YouTube or from
YouTube?
Yeah, I think it. Yeah, I don't really know.
So,
what up, JJ?
So first things first, check out Saturday. We have JJ on the podcast. That was awesome. I got to edit some of the music. JJ, you still have to tell me one song that you want for your episode. Other than that, let's get into the nitty gritty. Let's get into it. Multiple sources reported yesterday that NBC Universal has bought the streaming rights to obviously WWE. We wouldn't be starting that off if we weren't talking about it first. I'll give my thoughts afterwards, but Ray, what do you think first?
I'm excited. I mean, the economic idea of $9.99 or $4.99 plus more things. I mean, I always like saving money. The only thing that I go, hold on a second, is the idea of them being a little bit more insulated into the corporate TV world as opposed to the professional wrestling world, because I don't want them to have what happened to WCW when AOL and all those companies started getting involved, where you had people making booking decisions based on corporate decisions. And I know WWE has been corporate for a long time, and so there's always been a little bit of that since they've gone corporate, but I just don't want it to get worse in that sense of they're not worried about wrestling. They're worried about pleasing TV executives. And I know there's always a little bit of that, but as long as they don't run into that issue, but they've got enough booking issues as it is right now anyway. So yeah, I'm excited for the cheaper per month price though. So that'll be good.
What about you, Pat?
I'm also excited about it. It's for the same reason. I'm probably going to get the $9.99 one without the ads because it was the same amount. So I'm not going to.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still, even though I'm not saving money, I'm also not, losing any money at all.
When you're gaining content too, really.
Yeah, and I also, like you mentioned,
SNL versus Redemption. Bring it on. Come on. Like, who wants to hear Alec Baldwin guest host SNL and all of a sudden Mustafa Ali has to yell at him about why he has to enjoy his sweaty balls?
Is that an SNL joke? I'm going to be honest.
Yes.
I'm not an SNL
guy. They did an SNL skit a long time ago where they had Alec Baldwin on a radio station, like a fake radio station with two of the SNL cast members, and they're talking about baked goods, and one of them is like, how you get, like, you ever watch South Park? Their whole story was chocolate salty balls, kind of thing. It's fine, but they were talking about, like, Alex Baldwin talking about baked good, and he's like, everybody cannot resist my sweaty balls, because the character's last name was Sweaty.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, I'm not a big SNL guy, but as Aaron in the chat mentioned, it won't affect Canada, it won't affect the international market, so it's just a US deal too. So,
well, I mean, for me, more so, what it is that, actually, let me ask this question, Ray, what cable provider do you have?
So I just switched. I was using Sling, and then it doesn't have enough, and it's always like a minute behind everything. So I figured if I'm spending money for cable anyways, I actually just got the YouTube TV like within the last week. So I'm still kind of getting used to it, but I do like it.
You're safe for now, JJ. And then till Vince McMahon says he's got some grapefruits in Britain. There was some. I'll explain all these jokes about the whole deal with me right now because all I can think is joke after joke after joke right now. It's one of those things. Well, the other thing, Pat, what cable provider do you have?
Well, I have Xfinity, and then in Delaware I have Verizon. You know, my parents live in
Verizon.
Delaware.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's flipped. I don't know. One of these places I have Xfinity, the other one I have Verizon. I think here is Xfinity, I think.
Okay, so what it is that I have Comcast. I pay $159, $151, depending on how things go a month. And we looked into it, and it's actually because Peacock Premium is part of the package. It's $12 a month before this announcement because they give you the option part of it. And it's like going to the cable company and asking on Netflix. So now I'm wondering, and I put this in a super chat, and I think Sean had it answered today. Was that, and it's a good question, is what impact does this deal have for other cable providers like Cox? I think it's Sketch or something like that up near your area, yours and Rob's area, and DK's and Anakin's. I know Cox cable is primarily Southern California. My dad used to have that. They also used to own the rights to Petco Park years ago. I wanted to know these things because if it's going to create an issue where it's going to be a bigger impact, you're going to see a lot of people in NBC Universal try to use Comcast for their reach to actually get more subscribers to come to it instead of having to pay for your cable bill. And then now you have to pay for a separate subscription to Peacock after March in order to get the network. So that could be a possibility.
Yeah, it'll be curious to see how, like, the reason we do all of these packages is because traditional cable wasn't working. And now there's so many of them out there that it's essentially become, hey, cable should have all these packages. And so you're almost back to where you started. But yeah, I've liked not having specific cable because, like, even with YouTube TV, I'm spending less than if I was to be getting cable with the DVR and all that other stuff on there. So it's a little bit more cost effective, but yeah, we're getting to a point where we have a lot of streaming services.
I mean, for me, they give you the opportunity, what they call Xfinity Comcast Flex Box. It's just a streaming box, no cable, no nothing. And it literally is interesting to see how perplexing all this stuff is. What I'm wondering, like I said, is that what other impacts is this going to have? Because you have Disney having Hulu and, ESPN.
Mm-hmm.
Netflix is standalone. They're creating their own movie contents weekly now. Weekly. And then now you have WWE attached to Peacock, which is also attached to NBC Universal. I'll admit, the WrestleNomics was on today with Sean talking about the deal, and he was right. It strengthens your partnership with one of the major partners you have for distributing your content that is for cable outlets and other medias. And two, it gets, like Aaron said, it gets more casual fans' eyes on the product. That's why people are making jokes about it. Who wants The Office versus The Hurt Business? I mean,
oh my God.
I mean,
no,
it's just, or what about the NFL, versus WWE? I mean, that's the other moving parts now because NBC is now stopping their sports division for their studio sports division, and now they're moving everything to USA. You have NHL contracts, you have PGA contracts, NFL contracts on those things. I mean, you even have Wimbledon in some aspects that are on the Olympics. it's going to be interesting to see, because now with this whole idea, there are one or two things that Major Domino is going to fall first, and NXT is going to be first. And that's either going to come on nights like this. I'm sorry, Warren, but Thursday nights and, Tim and Joel, it's literally one of us. So I would be so happy, though, as a Classic fan, if they moved NXT to like a premium 8 o'clock time slot on like NBC once a week, or keep it on USA, but make it like NBC, like they used to do, like at 10 o'clock at night with Saturday Night Main Event.
Mm-hmm.
There's no high-end sports matches there. The NFL is going to be finishing up in 2 weeks. You have hockey is going on here and there, but that's being moved to USA. The Olympics are in limbo right now. Baseball is not starting up until another, 3 weeks, 4 weeks for training camp?
Something like that.
Yeah. So you only literally have basketball and hockey right now to go with it. So, they're not going to go against, they're not going to want to put one of their products like AEW does on a football night, but WWE is going to want to end up having, USA/Universal Time Order, whatever you want to call them. I'm getting to the point where I'm repeating this stuff all the time. Where NBC Universal is not going to want them to put NXT on a night where one of their sports products is going to be on.
Yeah, I would almost wonder if NXT, if it is to move nights, Tuesday probably is your night, because the NFL during the regular season, they do a Thursday night game every single week. Yeah. And you're not going to want to compete with yourself in that sense. And NXT is never going to compete with even Thursday night football, but you don't want to create that if you can avoid it. And Tuesday night was the old Smackdown slot. You can put it right there, and that works. The one thing I am curious, what streaming service is TNT like hooked with? Because I'm wondering, when does AEW do some kind of move like this? I feel like it's further down the road, but we're lying to ourselves if we don't think that, AEW is going to do the same thing.
Disney buying AEW confirmed. You see everybody doing all those things. This one's confirmed. I'm agreeing with you. We're slowly, steadily going into it. Like, hell, I watch anime. Yeah, obviously, if you look at the logo, I mean, it's kind of quite obvious what kind of an anime fan I am. I literally just got into My Hero Academia, and I'm watching the English version, the English dub on Hulu. I have a Crunchyroll. I have the network right now.
I forgot that Crunchyroll is a thing.
It still works, and I absolutely love Crunchyroll because of the fact that it's one of those things where I could get anime from Japan that hasn't come over. You know how hard it is to watch Dragon Ball Super when it first came out in subtitles?
Yes, I do actually. I don't do a whole lot of the anime stuff, but the Dragon Ball stuff I do like that.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun flipping through Facebook trying to find the Japanese ones with the translations all set up at the same time on Facebook, of all places. But we're all gearing up to where we're, instead of getting DVR cable boxes, we're going to get DVR streaming boxes. And that's the next wave that's going to happen. And now it all depends on who's the first provider to jump that bandwagon. Other than like you get your Roku, your Amazon's Fire Stick, stuff like that. But the major cable companies, like, obviously at Comcast and stuff, it makes a huge difference on that. I'm waiting to see what's next, because if AEW starts jumping on ship on the streaming stuff, what library do they have, though? It's not much unless they go after Ring of Honor or Impact, and Tony Khan decides to buy all that stuff out.
Well, and I think that's why you probably won't see it for a while. And depending on what this NWA relationship looks like, if they can get the NWA library and what AEW has put together in the last year and a half, 2 years, I think that's, again, I think you're at least a year or two away from anything like that happening. because we also have to remember that AEW essentially didn't have a long run with crowds, so they need to like show profit. And I know the product is good, and anyone who's going to evaluate that's going to go, yeah, they're fine, but you still have to show that you can sell out crowds once we eventually get those.
Yeah, we have two people doing run-ins today. So we might have Tim and Metal Mike pop in somehow.
Perfect.
I also sent the thing for Warren because somebody said that he might be interested if someone else was already on the channel on my show right now.
Ooh, teases.
Said that he literally, if he was on, he would probably consider popping in. But Mr. Warren Hayes is a busy man. So.
Probably consider the most solid of confirmations.
Actually, no, he literally said he would consider, but he said just send him in anyways. There's the heel. There's the heel.
What's going on, everybody?
With the reverb.
Hey, Tim.
But
Hey,
yeah,
what's going on, Patrick?
Hey, I
yes,
think I found
somewhat.
Squidward, Patrick.
Yeah, Squidward in my house.
But
I don't know what the. I don't know what's going on with this. I'm trying to get the headphone up. Nah, it's all right.
anyways, I think that we're heading that way anyways. We're heading towards a streaming full-on platform completely. So, but if anything, the bright thing they would do is move it to Saturdays because how many times during a season there hasn't been. Yeah, Tim, you're echoing badly, man.
Yeah.
I could say E-I-O-R-U and I can hear myself. But
Okay.
but the thing is that I think it's better off having it on Saturday because I mean, think about it, how they did with Saturday Night Main Event on NBC when they did those shows.
Mm-hmm.
They did a few
honest,
years ago.
I don't remember that, but I mean, I know that they did it. But
no, I mean, they did like a few years ago in the 2000s, in the 2000 era. They did a couple one or two off shows here for NBC to fill some time slot for them as part of their partnership, and literally. They drove ratings. They had a lot of people watching, and they had Tribute the Troops on NBC around the holidays, and that brought people in there. So I mean, it would make more sense if you're going to bring NXT over to a different channel, put it on, something where it's on a major channel. Obviously USA. I mean, that would leave them without a show usually during the week. But I mean, you could have like. NXT on Saturdays, and then if they're so adamant about having content on a Saturday, move a takeover Reform Mania on a Saturday and do it on NBC once in a blue moon.
That's to me would be kind of a combination would probably make sense because you don't want to take that off of a weeknight, even with NXT being at 800,000, 900,000 watches. That's still very, very good for them. It's just we know that like the NHL does a lot of stuff on Wednesdays, but if Tuesday night's not getting a lot of stuff and we know that they have other channels that they can use, I think a Tuesday night does make more sense. But as you mentioned, do takeovers on, because you now have everything on the streaming service anyways, do takeovers on Saturdays on NBC, on TV, to just draw in that audience a little bit more, because you don't want to do Saturdays every week, because I can tell you the casual fan is not going to go, yeah, I'm going to invest time in this every Saturday night, because when we're not in a pandemic, most people on Saturday nights are not at home.
No, but for now, for the short term, depending on how long it is and stuff, it would be a great idea to do that, but only time will tell. We'll see, but I'm excited for it. Not excited at the fact that I've been paying for Peacock for $12 a month, but
no, you're getting a decrease on that fee.
Wait a minute. Throwback. Have you watched the new reboot of Saved by the Bell in there?
I haven't watched anything on Peacock really. I'm lucky. I'm watching Hulu in the background right now. It literally paused on My Hero Academia.
Gotcha. No, I personally, when I heard that news yesterday, I was thinking to myself, wait a minute. why in the world does WWE want to move it on the Peacock? I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute. I had the WWE Network for years, like about 4
Also,
or
just
5
to give you a
years.
heads up, the fourth quarter, the next quarterly earnings call is on Thursday by June.
I immediately thought
Yeah.
of that when I saw the dollar amount. And I said, "Oh man, they were possibly expecting loss. He just saved his quarterly call.
Mhm.
That's why they did it when they did it. So he could
I
just
will
pull it out right at the end.
literally be at work, and I'll be I'm hoping it's past like 5 o'clock because I can listen while I'm closing the store.
They've been doing them at 4 or
Mhm.
5.
Yeah, but if that's the case,
Yeah.
and then that'd be awesome as hell.
Yeah, because when I heard, like I said, when I heard it yesterday, when they were talking about, it was broken on Fightful, and I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on here? And then like and then like I heard about it, I was like, wait a minute, what's going on here? Like after that, I was wondering, and I'm like, wait a minute, is WWE selling out to NBC? What the is going on here? Guys, the reason why I ain't really gonna swear too much tonight, I just been having a few days where I'm just been out of it, and people just
It's a good thing because Tim, we are live on Facebook also, and it's actually texting what you're talking about.
See now, that's exactly now. See, like, I'm sure people will probably watch this, but on Facebook, I really have to watch it. Sorry, but I have to really watch it because because I know people, my friends are on there, and B, because my reputation. So yeah, I have to watch it. Now, those of y'all want to know, I did get a new hat today. A friend of mine bought this for me. Yeah,
Nice.
I guess the Beatles. Thank you.
I think for the benefit to everybody who has Comcast, that's great. I had to have Aaron come in. Why not? We had
why not?
Why not? Considering we need a Canadian aspect of it. So
it doesn't affect me at all, man. It's just we get the network in Canada provided by our cable companies, the network wherever the WWE has a deal with. I have Rogers. I'm sure Americans know of Rogers. Obviously, it's the biggest cable company in Canada. They have a deal with them. That's where we get watch SmackDown and Raw. We have WWE Network. We have a WWE Network channel on our TV, on our cable, so we don't have to go on to the computer, phone, laptop, whatever device to watch a pay-per-view. We can just watch it on the TV, and we can also go on demand and stuff. So this doesn't affect me at all, unless they negotiate something with the international markets, like for Jobber, for example. This is in the UK. But right now, it seems like it doesn't affect the international markets. But it's good for the Americans. It's good for you guys because, let's be honest, the majority of people at WWE Network are hardcore fans, and this is for the casuals. Let's look at an example of other things that are hardcore fans, like Star Wars, DC, Marvel, whatever. Hardcore fans, they'll get hardcore fans no matter what, but casual fans, you have to get the casual fans interested. And that's what WWE is trying to do. It's a good business move. That's the one thing Vince is good at, is making business moves. But everything else, he's not good at. But I'm gonna give him a break because he just lost his brother. So, okay.
Welcome, John, by the way. I agree with you. I think it's time for this beat to happen, if anything. And I was talking to JJ, and eventually it's going to go international. But by the way, check out what JJ had to say on Saturday. It was awesome talking to him. But
it's gone up. It's gone up. The price for WWE Network Canada has gone up over. At one point, it was like $11 Canadian when it first started in 2014. Like later in 2014, because the Americans got the WWE Network like March and April of 2014. We got the WWE Network in August, just before SummerSlam with the Cena and Brock. It was like $11. Now it's like $15 Canadian.
Yeah. Well, it's $10 a month as of right now. So, anyways, since we've talked about 24 minutes about the deal and stuff like that, the deal. We got the Rumble this week. We'll talk about the rest of the week of wrestling afterwards. But I've already covered a lot of this stuff with Rob Meehan. I'm at a prediction show, but I'll get you guys' thoughts on this stuff. Ray, who are your final four for men's?
Final four for the men's? Oh,
we're gonna do this March Madness style, man.
Okay. Well, I did do a prediction show on my channel earlier. Go check it out. There's the plug. But
Yeah,
as far as
a plug, always a plug. There's always going to be a plug.
There we go. The men's one I really do struggle with because they've got a lot of guys who all you look and you go, are they really ready, or they've been doing a good job lately? But do we trust WWE to finish the push? There's a lot of unique ways that I think they can do this. One of the ways that I think would be kind of interesting is depending on where in the card certain matches fall. If Roman and Kevin Owens goes the way I expect it to, which is Roman winning, you could see, because I mean, this is a last man standing. Once again, Roman won't have to pin anybody. I want to keep pointing that out, but it would be kind of cool to see Kevin Owens lose the last man standing match, because we know he's going to. But if he was to end up in the final four also, even if he's one of the last people in, even if he was to win it after losing a last man standing, because WWE loves to 50-50 book. But I think that'd be cool. I think Daniel Bryan makes a lot of sense. Whoever they end up putting at that number 30 spot, I think makes a lot of sense. So, I mean, that's not really a final four. I think Edge is probably in there. I think Orton's probably in there. Sheamus or Keith Lee makes a lot of sense too, but yeah, so
yeah, we'll do the men's. We'll do the men's first, and we'll go from there. Mr. Entertainment, your hat's a little lower than usual today, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I kind of covered that. Yeah,
like all like freaking Canadian CIA. Are you like Professor Snape or something like that? Like, are you like?
Hey, Harry Potter series may come back to HBO, man.
Yeah, I know, right? Like Rainbow Six coming out of nowhere. But what are your final four?
I was gonna say Keith Lee was one of them, but he hasn't been on for 2 weeks, so there's like no build for him right now. I think Orton is going to be one of them. I don't think the Fiend's going to be in the match, but I think the Fiend's going to get involved, and he's going to cost Orton the Rumble, because I think he's going to come back. I think Edge is going to be a final four. I agree with Ray on that. The other one, Daniel Bryan, because I know he's been putting people over. That was his decision, so I think it might reward him with the win here. That's my final four.
I want to say hi to a couple people on Facebook. You know, Christy Williams and Aaron Connors. Hey, I know you guys are watching. Thanks for your support of watching on the Facebook side of things. Got to show love to everybody that known me for high school and stuff too. I'll go with Tim last because, well, we got to let him break off that freaking heel rust right there. Pat, what do you think? What's your final four?
Okay, so I think Daniel Bryan and Edge, I think, will be in the final four for sure. Because I can't see Edge going out before final four. I think Bryan's going to win. Orton, it depends on when the Fiend comes in, because I think the Fiend's going to, like he said, I think the Fiend's going to come in, whether he enters or not. I think the Fiend's going to cost him. So it just depends on when that is, because it could be before the final four. Probably makes more sense for. So probably I'll say Orton in the final four. And then the fourth one, it's tough. The men's is really tough to figure out. I'll say Keith Lee. If he's in it. I mean, he's in it.
All right, Mr. Big Nasty Heel, who hasn't been running around for a bit. What's your final four?
Well, okay. So it's the final four guys in the tournament or in the Royal Rumble. Okay. Well, first of all, I want to get this off my chest, and I got to be really, really careful when I screw you, Goldberg. You're gone.
He has 4 matches left.
First of all,
Wow. Wow. Not even like 20 seconds, 30 minutes, and we're already in talking about Goldberg.
Are Okay, okay. Well, like I'm gonna say, screw Goldberg. He don't need to be in the title. He don't even need to be in the Rumble. Period. Let's exclude this. Let's exclude that monkey butt out of there.
I'm really worried about that.
I'm scared.
Okay,
Legitimately.
I'm really-
so my four. So my four.
He gets
people,
halfway through
I
his
would
rant and
choose-
he's got to fix his phone.
because people keep blowing my phone up all day. That's why. It's getting aggravating.
It's like
Anyway, so-
mobile phones are not made to like
I know it's like,
literally. But
Yeah, I know.
yeah,
You get
Yeah.
Anyway, okay. So forget Goldberg. He's an idiot. He needs to go. Don't even need to be in the Rumble. I'm being guys. I'm being a little different. So I can see. I don't want to see Sami Zayn in. I do not want to see Sami Zayn in the Rumble. No. He needs to be out of it. Let's see. Okay. I can see Kevin Owens in it. I can see Randy Orton in it. I can see Edge in it. And here's a kicker. I'll throw Thatcher in it. Thatcher make his debut in on the main.
It'd be very unexpected.
I
Nobody
made
had
a
expected.
Yeah.
I made a prediction basically off of one of the final fours for mine. Off of hey, Metal Mike's here. Let's see if he gets there. What's your final four, Metal Mike?
What an intro.
Are you in here? We're in the Royal Rumble now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, guys? By the
What's up,
way,
man?
glad the stream's working out tonight. That's great.
I know, right? I think bumping up to NBC Universal, give me that money right there. Give me that Peacock money right there. It kind of helped me with my Wi-Fi too. So I went from 35 download speed to 250. I was just like, okay, this is what it's supposed to be. So I'm itching to test out Streamlabs very soon to see how that goes. But what is your final four, my friend?
If you know who I'm rooting for to win is Daniel Bryan this year, and I'm hoping to do a Royal Rumble prediction show for Call Up Wrestling. But I would definitely want to see Daniel Bryan take it, and I've got this big plan in motion. You want a Final Four? I'll give you AJ Styles, Daniel Bryan. Let's throw Shinsuke Nakamura in there, and honestly, it's a toss-up with that last one. I'm all in on Daniel Bryan. I think he could take the title from Roman at WrestleMania, move Roman to Raw, bump up the quality of Raw with the head of the table, and then, we could have Shinsuke versus Daniel Bryan for Daniel Bryan's first big championship feud. I've booked this all the way to past WrestleMania.
That's awesome.
That's good.
Everybody loves the Tim rant from JJ, like JJ said.
So I have another Final Four suggestion that would piss off a lot of people, but I think it would be interesting. So I did put this on my show, so I'm just kind of giving the whole show away. So you don't even need to go watch it, I guess.
No,
Because
go
you
watch
love-
it. Go watch it. Go watch it and support Ray. I mean,
If you want to really make people mad, but I think if you can withstand the heat, I think you have a cool story here. You want to save Retribution, have them steal the Royal Rumble, and here's how you do it. You get Ali early on in the match, and he just Iron Mans his way through and just doesn't get eliminated, and he's there at the end. You get Mason T-Bar in that last 15 to 25 range, and somewhere along the way, and I'm giving away the turn here, but Ricochet is also in there. He's avoided Retribution the whole time. You get it down to those guys as your Final Four. They all look at each other and just start laughing. T-Bar and Mace just leave the ring. Ali and Ricochet look at each other. They're still laughing, and they both intentionally tie. And so they steal the Rumble, go after both titles. Your whole build to Mania is basically them trying to show everyone hey, we did this on purpose. This has been our whole plan ever since we were throwing Molotov cocktails. And as long as you can withstand this heat, your story is essentially the McMahons trying to basically take their WrestleMania moment away. So they're heels because they stole it, but they're going to get that sympathy, that rub from the crowd that isn't there because they're being shot down by the, the authority. So I think that'd be interesting.
Yeah, that would be something a little bit different. So, I
Very
mean,
bold.
For me, though,
I don't think they're that bold, but it was an idea.
Cross is definitely, after reading the article that I believe I read an article about a month and a half ago, Finn did with some outlet about NXT, and he said that his dream is to have the NXT title main event a Mania and have Karrion Kross as his challenger to go and make that NXT title big. And to me, the NXT title is already huge as it is. But putting that as your main focus at Mania, now that it's 2 nights for this one.
So almost repeating what Charlotte did, where she won the Rumble and said, I want the NXT title.
Yeah.
It's not a bad idea.
But having Finn and Karrion on there, it would make it interesting. And that entrance, oh my God, picture that entrance on Mania.
Oh yeah,
that high octane kind of thing where Scarlett's walking down and stuff, and just picture that as like a Mania entrance, ramped up.
I do have a problem with the entrance though. I think it's good for special shows, but I think for NXT, like he's been wrestling in NXT weekly shows, I don't think there's need for that kind of entrance.
Yeah, it's a little excessive. It's not as long as Undertaker, but it's got that kind of feel where it's like, all right, this is a little over the top. But I don't think you'll see that as a main event of a Mania, even with 2 nights. But I mean, I'd be here for the match at Mania. Again, NXT is the third brand. They need put them on Mania. Why not? You have 2 nights.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it would make more sense. So we'll go back around the other way. Tim, Final 4 women's.
Final 4 women's. Okay, first of all, I don't even want to see Charlotte in the picture.
It's not who you don't want, who you think is going to be.
I know. Let's see. I want to see Bayley in it. Bayley, Bianca. It's got to be somebody from. It has to be some girl from up in the NXT come up. That would be interesting. And who else would I put on there? Jesus Christ, of a popsicle stick.
He's really tempted to swear right now when he goes like that.
It's not a good roster in there. It's not a good Royal Rumble.
It's not a good. Yeah, it's not a good Raw. I can see
it's been poorly booked. The talent is tremendous.
Yeah.
To me, if it was booked properly, I don't even need the men's roster in WWE. I would just watch the women's roster. It's that good. It's just booked terribly.
Well, if you want to watch the women's and men's Royal Rumble, go to Fightful. They'll be doing those two matches.
How long did Charlotte Flair stay in the Rumble?
Watch along, yeah.
I'm literally going to say what I said. The Final 4 for me is Bayley. Charlotte's going to be in there. So you have your Raw and your SmackDown representative. NXT wise, I could see. I can't remember what I said earlier, but I can honestly see something like, Shotzi in there or something like that. Somebody from the NXT area.
Right, Shotzi.
I mean, but literally the person I already said who is going to win, and everybody tells me I'm crazy because of the pattern. It's going to be Bayley, regardless. But even if so, if you have Shotzi or something like that, Rhea or anything, it'll give NXT a strong showing anyways, having one of them as the final 4. I mean, there's one name I threw out there that not a lot of people have thought about, and she's been injured, but if she pulled a Cena-esque healing thing or Deadpool healing thing, I wouldn't be surprised to see Tegan Nox, and it would have been in that Final 4 if she was perfectly healthy at that point.
I think she'd have to be way ahead. I think she's still got a long way to go.
Yeah.
No, I know, but I'm saying if that injury never happened, she would probably be in the Final Four this year.
I'm worried for a long-term future, and I'm worried for a long-term future in wrestling because she's having those injuries, the same kind of injuries. I don't know if she's gonna have a long-term future in wrestling.
Mike, you still there, by the way? Because you look like you're frozen.
Yeah, he froze.
Yeah, I think he's gone.
I'll just put him back into the lobby and stuff. But it's got to be something where they make it relevant. They make us want to keep watching it. And but the main thing that I'm more excited about the whole Rumble is having Roman and Owens, and it's more so not like everybody's like, come on, it's the same match. Let them have, the real deal thing, and let them go. Just let them go. Just don't let the handcuffs off. Have nobody. Just let them go.
Was that on purpose?
Yeah.
Handcuffs.
I do have something to say about the match. I think Jimmy's coming back.
Yeah, I really do. I think he's going to be in there.
Well, and it's a last man standing match, so I mean,
No
DQ. So, and I don't have an issue with the fact that this is the third time, because realistically, it was TLC, Christmas, and then over a month later, or day after Christmas. Was it Christmas Day? Whatever.
Christmas, yeah.
And then over a month later, and each time it's been a different stipulation. There's been a logical reason as to why, because like last time, only reason Owens didn't win was because he was handcuffed. So I'm good with this.
This is the final match between them. This is the final match.
Oh, definitely.
I was
inferring how that Sami Zayn was kind of handcuffed this week.
I like that. I thought that was good.
Conspiracy against him.
Well, if he hadn't come out there at the very beginning of the show, I would have thought it was stupid. But he sat there for over an hour to wait and to pick that spot. I thought that made it work. So,
what do you think, Pat? What do you think's going to happen?
Well, first of all, while we're on the subject of Sami, I think that it would be a good idea to have Sami enter the Rumble first or second, because then he can add that to his list of conspiracies.
Yeah.
That's a good call.
Wasn't you, Tim, saying you didn't want Sami to be in the Rumble?
He didn't want him in the Final Four, I think is what he said.
No, that wasn't me. That was Tim who said that.
Yeah, I was saying that like.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm waiting for like the babyface new Rookie of the Year on this show come up, and all of a sudden, freaking Stone Cold Tim freaking Austin comes out of nowhere and stuns him. It'd be like Plankton going after PatrIck. Yes, we are making SpongeBob references. I do not care. And yes, my name is PatrIck, and I'm damn well proud of that shit.
I have a 4-year-old. I'm plenty well versed in the SpongeBob universe.
Of course.
I just remember that stream with Fightful with Denise and SRS. He didn't know what she was talking about with PatrIck Star.
Oh God, I was like, you know how many times I go to a store and I get that reference? It's horrible. It's like ridiculous.
Too many times.
But I mean, I think that if this match is done right, it's giving Owens the proper, saying, hey, we acknowledge your hard work. We know you did everything right. It's one of those things like, I think that eventually, if they move him over to Raw, he'll become the Raw champion over that way.
Good.
He does go over a lot. Stretches brands a lot, Owens, doesn't he? It's like once every
that would
year
be awesome. Like all of a sudden, Owens wins like a Rumble or the Money in the Bank match, and the one day Goldberg's the champion, the WWE champion, and he flips that script, goes up to him, stuns him, flips him off, and then freaking wins the title.
So that's where I kind of get a little worried, though, is because you could set that all up on something. Drew lose that match. You have Owens would lose the last man standing, but then he can recover and go win the Rumble, and then he's got his match against Goldberg at Mania, and it would be so gross. But
and everyone would think he'd go after Roman again. And then
He's ready to blow. Watch out, Mount Timmy.
I
Tim
agree with
told.
Tim here. No.
Raver.
Okay, Mike is
Go.
back.
Oh boy.
Let's see if it.
Well,
Yeah,
put it
I
like
think
this.
you're lagging a bit.
No, it's because people keep continuously blowing the phone up with stupid text messages and all that. Next time,
I'm talking
what
about
I'm gonna
Mike,
do is,
dude.
before I
You're
do,
like,
Oh, hey.
you.
Yeah. I don't know
You,
how long
Tim.
it's going to last. I tried to jump on the stream.
you know,
Yeah,
Well-
the last time I tried to jump on the stream, I needed to do a phone update. I thought it would take 10 minutes. Didn't work out, and it took like the whole night. So I thought this would go a lot better. And I got a lot of lag. I'm not sure why, but I closed everything on my phone except for this. So I'm hoping that will help.
Try. Do you have a laptop by any chance?
StreamYard on phone is not very good.
No.
Apparently, I'm finding that out the hard way.
Not you, man. It's
Yeah,
not
no.
you.
So let's keep going forward because I want to get out of here on time because everybody has work in the morning unless you're snowed in, and luckily I'm going to be.
unless you have a bad ankle. Yeah.
So some of the matches
Ouch.
that are rumored to happen: triple threat match for the Intercontinental title. We'll go around, make those matches lists because of what happened last Friday. Could this is a speculation match that could happen that me and Rob threw out on our preview show. You got Apollo, Sami Zayn, and you got Big E. Who do you guys have? Ray, and then you'll go around.
I mean, if they're intelligent as they should be, Big E pins Sammy, and I mean, you don't take the title off Big E. Like, he hasn't really had a run with it yet. He will piss off your fan base. Like, Big E has to win that
Pat.
if that's what the match is, because I hadn't seen that.
No, that's
Yes.
what they're hinting at. They probably will announce that on Friday, though. But
Yeah.
the way
They always add
this
matches last minute.
and the
Yeah,
way
that-
this last Friday was, it seemed like they're hinting going towards that way.
Right. Yeah, if that match happens, Big E's got to win. I think Big E has to get the win there. Although I don't know what the plan is with Apollo with Roman. If they're doing anything there, I don't know if that's a thing. Because like we know he was with them, but they didn't mention it. Well, they didn't really mention it really that much since then. So if they do something there, but I don't think Big E should lose the title now. He
Yeah,
just
and
won it.
And I think what you just mentioned with Apollo possibly being tied to Roman, I think that's why you probably don't see Apollo take the pin either.
Right.
All right, Mike, what do you think?
You froze again?
Mike
Yeah.
is speechless.
Yeah. All right, Aaron, go ahead.
Big E, isn't it obvious? It has to be Big E because like if he loses it here, all that build is for nothing, and we can't take him seriously as a potential heavyweight champion anymore.
Unless they have him win the Rumble.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true too.
I could see that's
Yeah.
actually a good idea.
What about you, Tim? Biggest dirty heel?
I see Big E.
All right. The way it's going towards, they haven't announced this yet, but I wouldn't be surprised that when they show up on Sunday, Riddle versus Lashley for the United States title. Who do
Oh,
you
that's
guys
happening.
have?
Yeah.
Is
Yeah,
it
that's not
for
happening.
real? I hadn't seen
Yeah,
it
because
confirmed.
Riddle won the gauntlet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I wish that it was going to be the first time we'd seen this match, but that's WWE for you. I have been waiting for a Riddle Lashley with stakes match for like 3 years. So I will be, if they do this match, I will be glued to the TV for sure. I just wish that I hadn't already seen previews of it with like, oh, look at finishes, because I just want these guys to just beat the bejesus out of each other. And I don't care who wins, but I would guess that Lashley would retain.
All right. Tim, what do you got?
I like both of them. I like both guys. They're really good. I'm gonna have to probably pick Riddle.
All right. Aaron.
Well, here's the thing with this match. I know I have a problem with how WWE is using Riddle. I think this match is gonna be good. They're using him in the US title picture, but they make Riddle look so dumb in backstage segments. They can't detect sarcasm and stuff. That's my issue with them. Remember last week with the shoes and Bobby Lashley? I have an issue with that. He can't detect sarcasm. That's a problem.
And when you stomp on one foot and react and grab the other.
It's a problem. It's a problem with Riddle and they're booking him on the main roster. I know he's laid back and all of that, but come on, you have to be smart. And there's times when he's smarter than that, but right now they're making him look dumb. But I think Bobby Lashley is gonna win. But I'm gonna say this about Bobby Lashley, her business. Bobby Lashley should be moving up into the upper card. Him aligning himself to Hurt Business. We saw it a little bit last year after WrestleMania with Drew. He could be challenging for Drew again for the title whenever that happens, because this really helped him become more of an upper card guy than he was with a mid card type of wrestler with the US title. But I still think Lashley's gonna win.
Yeah, Pat, what do you think?
I'm picking Riddle to win, bro.
Bro. By the way, one of my good friends is on the Facebook chat and be like, Yoshi, bro.
I just see Matt Riddle and R-Truth become a tag team.
Speaking of Riddle and tag teams, what happened to the Hardy Bros? They trademarked that and then
Hardy
just dropped it.
Raw? I didn't see Hardy on Raw.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened there.
They booked it for 2-3 weeks. I was starting to get into it, and like Jeff Hardy is the reason I watch professional wrestling. Like, he's what drew me in as a kid. He's what brought me back a couple of years ago. And I know his career now isn't what it used to be, but like seeing him with, Riddle and doing Hardy Bros, I was getting excited for that. And then they trademark it and then they never touch it again.
At least we're getting one of those dream matches where we get Riddle and Lashley in the same. If they're smart enough to make Riddle any strong, give the title to Riddle, make Lashley chase, and make the Hurt Business trying to gain some refooting in the face of adversity.
He's a genius in the ring. Riddle's a genius in the ring. He's a good wrestler, but he knows what he's doing in the ring. But in the backstage segment, they make him look stupid as F.
He kind of reminds me of Spicoli. If you ever watched Fast Times at Ridgemont High, he kind of reminds me of that whole aspect of it. Now, he seems like he's a great guy and stuff that on camera. I don't know any of the other stuff that everything's going out there, and I'm not going to speculate because this is a non-speculatory show. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
That's why I don't think he's going to get the title. Like, just for full transparency, like, I think if that all didn't happen, whatever the situation with that is, I would probably say, yeah, go ahead. He's built up enough, but I think Lashley is over enough to he can beat him too. It's no big deal. He doesn't need to be the guy that pulls the title off of Lashley.
By the way, sorry, Metal Mike. Jobber had to say this. I think that we've got obviously a good match with Drew and Goldberg. God help us all. Where's Warren when you need him to freaking vent on Goldberg right on the spot? Anyways,
I hope that match is less than 3 minutes. I don't want any more than
Drew
that.
winning.
Yes.
And I'm going to say this just because you said 3 minutes. And if you can last 3 minutes, go to bluechew.com/Fightful. I have to say that once in a blue moon. I get one at least. But
yeah. 3 minutes, 18 claymores. Just every 10 seconds on repeat. Claymore. That way he can know what it feels like to get the same move done to him over and over and over again.
I had a prediction. I had a prediction of this match that I was going to say to a friend of mine, and I'll say it on here. And he's on at work watching. Is that I think what's going to end up happening is that you're going to have Goldberg going for the spear, and freaking Drew hits him with the Claymore right above the temple. And then that's how the match ends. It's just like, oh, well, it was a botch ending. No, that was timing. You have Goldberg going full tilt, and all of a sudden, freaking, he gets up and freaking hits him with the Claymore.
If he can hit his head on a door, he can hit his head on a boot.
Oh, did you see Goldberg coming out yesterday? He looked gassed already. Go walk into the ring.
So my wife does not watch WWE. She actually detests professional wrestling. So it is what it is. But she saw Goldberg and goes, "Why is he so sweaty?" He like just walked to the ring. I was like, "That's Goldberg."
Yeah.
Hey, that's kind of like
probably knowing them.
Goldberg is the equivalent to Quagmire on Family Guy. He gets all of a sudden he's just literally like talking. Everybody tries to ignore him because of what he says, and then 10 minutes later, if it's something that's quote unquote inappropriate, all of a sudden, giggity, that's Quagmire.
Yeah.
The same thing with Goldberg when he was walking out the ring. Why does he look sweaty? That's Goldberg.
Okay, be honest with you. Let me just go ahead and say this. I'm going to go ahead and rant, and I'm going to keep it clean, professional. Seriously.
That'll last
Number
clean
one,
within about 2 minutes.
how many times? How many ding on CTE? How many times he banged his head on the door or on a wall? How much CTE does this dummy have? Why are they? Yeah, exactly. Why in the flying? Pretty much. Why in the flying are you going to sit there? I'm going to say this. I hope Drew McIntyre beats the living, pardon the language, Facebook, beats the living fuck out of him. To the point where
I
he
would
needs
say
to
in
be
2 minutes.
stretchered.
There you go.
Needs to be stretchered out and never come back ever again.
I don't want anybody to legitimately get hurt. He does that to other people
I don't
enough
care.
as it
I
is.
want the guy to get
Drew?
He's not strong enough.
Drew kicks him. No, Drew fucks him up. Legitimately fucks him up.
See, Drew's too good at his
son of a
job to
gun.
do that, though.
Yeah,
I don't care. I would just for one fact, because he's been there for all these years, and he's taking. First of all, what is wrong with Vince McMahon allowing this idiot back in the ring? He's taking
He
the
doesn't know what else to
spotlight
do
away
with
from
him.
the stars. Yeah, but the think of it is though, this idiot's taking the spotlight from the stars. Why are you going to take someone that?
You think the fans should, with most of the fans, like most of the fans now the older fans haven't seen him wrestle in WWE or even WCW.
I understand that, but my point is, if you're creating stars, you're holding the stars, your current stars back because a certain loser wants to keep coming back in. This is why they need to get rid of the whole entire old people roster, get rid of them, and let their talent just be who they are. That's my point. That's my big fuss about it. It can't get any different than that. I
completely agree. I don't want to see him in title matches. I don't want to see him anywhere near titles. It's just
you see when, but you see
all
what
I gotta do
right,
is just
right?
that, because we're talking about Goldberg, and if you're watching it, yes, there's a picture of Mario headbanging right now on the screen.
What was that? What was that move Nia Jax did to Dana Brooke? Was that supposed to be a power bomb?
Here's what it was.
It was a dangerous.
Yeah,
power bomb to a choke slam.
Yeah.
It kind of looked like a variation of Raquel Gonzalez move, like a power bomb to a Raquel Gonzalez finishing move. But it looked like she didn't look like she had a good grip on her,
Raquel Gonzalez is the better version of Nia Jax.
Oh yeah, much better version.
Much better.
Those two don't belong in the same sentence as each other. That's like disrespectful to Raquel Gonzalez.
Luckily, Dana did not get hurt.
Yeah, when I saw that, I got mad. I was like, "Get her out of the ring." That's unacceptable.
I was worried about her. I messaged Sean to ask if she was okay. Full transparency, I DM'd Sean Ross Sapp to ask her if Dana Brooke was okay. Ask him if Dana Brooke was okay.
Yeah, it looked like her hand on the where she had her hand over here. When Bella was slamming her, it looked like it slipped a bit.
Yeah,
it looks like they were trying to get their gripping back on that move. But I mean, we've got so much going on this week. I want to thank you guys for being on, because we're literally hitting the top of the hour. Everybody has their own stuff they have to do. Look, Tim. Look, Tim, we've been getting shorter and shorter, almost on to the hour, instead of doing 2.5 hour shows, doing an hour and a half weekly Tuesday night show.
It's been a while since I've been back on here, so let me go ahead and give y'all a little update on my ankle. First of all, Ray, I'm glad you said something to me. Appreciate what you said.
Absolutely, man. I've been there.
I got 3 metal rods in my ankle now.
3?
Here's the thing. 3. Yes, they just put. I had 2 of them refixed, and then I had a 3rd one done this past week. Now they're getting ready to put shot in my ankle now to help it heal up. And then in about maybe, I don't know how long it's going to be, but in between that, I got to do rehab over top of it. So everybody on here in the chat, YouTube, and everybody on Facebook, I appreciate y'all and all the other fans and family around. I appreciate everyone. I really thank y'all for it, because to be honest with you, I couldn't thank anybody else. Y'all have been so great to me, and can't happen to a worse guy than me. Well, a better person than me, I should say. But I just want to say thank y'all, and I appreciate y'all being there and sticking beside me. And I got a long road of recovery. We're looking about 6 to 8 months of rehab on my ankle, on top of what's going on with COVID. And I do not have COVID. I've never had it. I stay indoors in my apartment almost 18 to 20 hours a day, so I don't need to be near this. And guys, I really appreciate y'all helping me out and keeping my thoughts up and my spirit. And I want to really especially thank Ray, because he is one awesome dude. Appreciate you, Ray.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. Like I said, I mean, I've been there too. I broke my leg in a couple of 4 different places, and I got some gear down there now too. And you know, I student taught on a knee scooter. I graduated college on crutches, and took me about 6 months of rehab to learn how to walk again. But I mean, you know, it's a process. So hit me up anytime. So
yep.
So we've got a lot of stuff going on this week too. And Tim obviously is always going to be here no matter what. You know, everybody's welcome to be here. We got a watch along, and it's going to be a very different type of watch along than usual. We are going to be watching the Royal Rumble this Sunday, but it's going to stop halfway through because a lot of people I know would be rather watching the Fightful watch along on the Rumble matches than anything. So what we're going to do for a watch along is we're going to cover everything except for the Rumble matches. That way people have an alternative to do it. I know it sounds weird. I know it sounds lanky. They stop and go. It doesn't mean the stream is going to end. It's just that we won't be covering all that stuff and talking about it. We'll be talking about what our thoughts of those matches that we watch in depth. Ray's always welcome. Aaron, everybody's always welcome. I'm actually trying to get somebody to come on. I'm praying it works. I hope it works. I reached out to somebody that I asked, said, hey, I wouldn't mind doing something with you guys if you want. I'm very hopeful it happens. If it doesn't, then, you know, I'm going to still keep seeing. It doesn't hurt. I'm also trying to get up all women's roundtable. Haven't done like a serious roundtable in a bit. I think I've gotten maybe 2, 3. I need 2 more. And I want a woman's opinion of wrestling. I don't want like us. We talk about it and Hannah comes in and, you know, Lisa was supposed to be on tonight. She was going to comment. I want like just a woman's generalization about what their thoughts of wrestling is from their standpoint. My mom raised me. My sister's around. I've always been around one, but it'd be nice to do that. I might even try to coax my best friend of 30 years. Maybe I could get her on camera for once and try to have her come on, you know, and give her opinion on it. She watched wrestling with me for a while, but I mean, it's different now, but it's good to see. The new channel is going to be launching very, very soon. It's up and running, but content will be getting on there soon. Rob has stated that on today's preview show for the Rumble, and within about a week, we'll be doing a soft launch, and then hopefully into February, hard launch. We're lining people up to do their content on there and giving them the opportunities to it. Ray is one of them. Aaron, I think Rob said that he is down to talk sports with you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it gives everybody the opportunity. I think on Tuesday mornings, if I can get my fluffy ass up early enough, we're going to be talking about sports in general. I'll have Aaron on if he can get on, and me and Rob will sit there as like a morning show talking about.
Sundays?
No, Tuesdays.
Oh yeah, Tuesdays are fine. I have no shows on Tuesdays.
Yeah, no, it'd be like Tuesday mornings.
Okay.
That will keep me busy throughout the day, considering I'm trying to start doing the podcast stuff on recordings on Tuesdays for the most part. And we'll probably try to do on the new channel a sports show for a morning show, which Rob will be hosting, and I'll be the second chair. So that will be cool. And then try to get Ray to do his stuff on there on a regular basis, on a weekly thing, to give his opinions on stuff. Tim's going to be migrating from Facebook over there once he's fully functional. And then we've got more and more people. I'm hoping to get our first, and I'm going to ask this person while I'm on air, and hopefully they says, I wouldn't mind having JJ do his own show and get his perspective from outside of the country. But this literally gives everybody the opportunity to do something, and gives them to bring their own stuff over. So anybody on in the chat, anybody that follows me on Twitter, anybody follows any of these guys on Twitter, if you're on Facebook right now watching us, some of you people went to high school with me, you're more welcome to have your own show. Hell, I'll even go one step further. Any of the DeCorpo family members, cousins or whatnot, which is my ex-wife's family, you're more welcome to do your own show. We're even talking about doing fantasy drafts in the fall. Live fantasy drafts. You know how many people are going to be sweating bullets doing fantasy drafts on air?
We've got baseball one coming up.
Yeah, I'm down for that. But still, it's going to be fun to see what we can do with this channel and put so much content on there for you guys to enjoy. To see, be like, next thing you know, like me and Pat will be watching My Hero Academia and talking about breaking down the storylines, or, you know, DK and Anakin could sit there making food on camera talking about why you have to saute a freaking steak properly.
Oh,
or
God,
Tim talking about how to fillet a fish. You know, the whole point is that it gives people the opportunity. So I want to thank you guys. Ray, tell them where they can find you, and then I'll thank everybody off of Facebook too.
You can find me on Twitter at AngryBeaver1127. There it is. I do prediction shows for pay-per-views. Dropped one earlier today on YouTube that's linked up on my Twitter. It's pinned at the top of my account. So give me a follow, give me a watch, retweet stuff, comment stuff, interaction stuff. Thanks.
All right. Leave a comment also about it, because Ray's been on the last few weeks and he's been doing amazingly too. Pat, tell them where they can find you.
On Twitter, you can find me at PatMace98. That's PATMAS98. And on Instagram, you could find me at Pat Mason with 2 N's instead of 1.
All right. Tim, tell them where they can find you.
Okay, you can find me. There's 3 places you can find me. First, you can find me on Facebook. That's facebook.com/Tim Traver. You can find me on there. I also have a diecast site that's been launched. You can check me up on there. You can hit me up on that. We're doing all kinds of stuff. There's a lot of good stuff coming down the pipe with that. You can also find me on Twitter, where Patrick Mason said. Appreciate that plug. You can also find me on Instagram as well. Tim Traver on all 3.
All right. And the one who has more shows than I do right now weekly.
I'm not talking about stuff.
Well, Aaron, tell them where they can find you, my friend. And by the way, the video game streams you do is really good.
Oh yeah, I was gonna plug that. I'm gonna plug that. Because I did one like before this show. It was very short. So you can find me on Twitter at Aaron Jace fan, AARON Jays, so JAYS fan. And you can find me on YouTube at Aaron Entertainment. Just type in the search and you'll find me. And yeah, I did since Resident Evil Village demo came out, I streamed that about, I don't know, maybe 1 to 2 hours ago. It's only 30 minutes long because the demo wasn't very long. The demo was like 30 minutes long, so I was shocked. But yeah, you can check out my YouTube channel for that if you want to see Resident Evil. If you're interested in Resident Evil Village, the next Resident Evil game. Check it out. And I have a show Thursday. It's all about the pop, 2 p.m. my time, Eastern time. It's going to talk about the Godzilla, Kong versus Godzilla. That was a epic trailer. And Harry Potter maybe going to HBO Max TV series and whatever else comes up. So yeah, check me out.
Yeah, and the fun part is that you'll see these beautiful faces on Wicked Crazy Crew TV. Dun, dun, dun. Very soon. JJ, when he says he has to be fully prepared first. JJ, it's an open invitation to have your own show. Also, want to thank Aaron Connors, Christy Williams, Patty Brown, Corey Eichenbaum, Yosh, Josh Livingston, Jennifer Dulong, Ashley Foss, and Sean McGonigal. You guys are all around this area. You guys are all welcome to be on this show at any time. You guys know me from high schools and stuff like that. I am challenging my high school alma mater, Greater Lowell Technical High School, to develop somebody on my podcast. I'm the only one I know of so far, so why not? We have the new channel. If you guys want it, come get it. It's all yours to do any content you want within reason. Also, very soon, it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be doing drafts. We're going to have another person coming up if they do another draft coming up for WWE. We're going to have a third person do it because, well, me and Rob's one took about an hour and a half. We need somebody to just keep us in check. But other than that, we've got so much going on this year. It's going to be very exciting. Check out JJ's podcast that he did with me. It'll be out on Saturday at noon. Check out all of Aaron's stuff is always good. Check out race prediction shows, all his stuff. Go to Fightful. Check out the Listing Your Boy tomorrow. And then also on top of that, check out what they say about all this craziness that's happened in the last 48 hours. And then the Wednesday Night Wars, you got Jeremy and Sean on Friday nights. Check out that Twitch channel. Better yet, why don't you go back in their archives from this past weekend and watch the 01 Rumble episode with Rob Wilkins, Alex Pulaski, and Joe Hobart and Jeremy Lambert. That was awesome. Also, as much as this is me tooting my home, I am the #1 sub gifter on Twitch for that channel. Hell yeah.
Thank you for that, man.
I saw you putting a bunch. I saw you putting a bunch of those out there. I was like, dang. Yeah. Also, Sean has that Rumble article, 10,000 words. It's about 20 pages, but it is worth the time on the Rumble. So read it before Sunday. That stats piece he put out too is really, really good.
With it.
Yeah.
Too.
Yep. And he's got a big stats piece too. It's got tons of crazy stuff in there too.
Yeah, and the goal for the whole make it rain kind of deal for the sub gift is 100 by February 27th. I'm at 52 right now. I think that'll be before that, yeah. Other than that, check out the Fightful Gaming. It was an honor and a privilege to be on that watch along, especially with Rob. And I've never been on anything with Alex, so it was really interesting to be on there too. I looked at it was late. Funny. It was late. It was quiet too. I was a little more quiet than usual just because, well, I've been tired like crazy and I had to work the next day. But I wouldn't have turned them down anyways. If they told me, hey, we have a stream at 3:00 in the morning, I'll be up at 3:00 in the morning. It's great for doing anything with them. But do a good deed, pay it forward. Check out Sisters Custom Designs. They made that shirt. Yes, Anakin, I did get you in trouble. I did set that up. It was me, Anakin. It was me all along.
Oh no.
Well, my ex is the one who made that shirt. So he was like, "Hey, does she make that stuff?" I'm like, "Yeah, she does." So I technically could get blamed for that. I don't know how that will work, but somebody will take this shot and be like, "Hey, Throwback said this," and be like, "I screwed the pooch."
I think you're clear. I think you're good.
No, I know, but I think it's funny though. But other than that, do a good deed, pay it forward. Is there Fightful Twitch on right now?
Yeah, I think they went live at 8 too. So
all right,
go watch that.
Go watch over there. Check it out. Tell them their #1 gifter sent them, and make sure you make them scream a little bit. I mean,
Yeah, they're
at
on.
least look at it this way, right? That round table we did, me, Rob, Hannah, and DK, that went for almost 2.5 hours. That very first one on here. And the whole time they're saying, why are they still on? Now they don't have to worry about it. All right, guys. Have a good night.
Peace, guys.
Hey.
Man, you gotta shit. You.